My name is Christopher Michael Nadhan. Nadhan. My grandpa's name was Michael Vishwanathan. My father's name is Christopher Dharmesh Nadhan. My mom raised me single up to 14. She had me from 1 to about 3, between 4 and 8. I was in the foster care system. My mom named me after my grandpa, Michael, and I feel my father, Christopher. But to this day, she'll tell you she named me after the archangels, Christopher and Michael. And she gave me my grandfather's last name, part of it. I talk patiently. My presence is seen. I've been told it's felt. I'm quiet around others. I think that has to do with not being sure what another person's intention is when they interact with me. But I'm not here to figure out myself. I'm here to tell a story, I guess. Once upon a time, I can't remember how it felt to have everything. I guess I had my own room once. I had my own clothes, your cool Jordans and diamond earrings as a kid. I remember being very creative in my room, switching it up every other weekend, making tables out of crates. My recycled cans would be towers, and just the whole imagination aspect of having your own room as a kid. I remember how that felt, how it feels to be like a Home Alone kid. The feeling of your environment being a playground. It's a good feeling. I guess you can't control everyone's actions, however, though. So I remember it being disrupted and people coming in saying that I'm not going to stay where I'm at. It's time to move in with some other people and to not worry, everything will be okay. And kind of go with the emotions as a kid. You know, you cry, but you don't know what you're crying for. I mean, you know why you're crying, but everything is just sort of laid out for you to kind of just figure it out when you're a child. But ended up in the foster care system, and it's like a haze, man. So it's a haze. Like, call them foster pimps. They depend on which one I was with, really. Like, one foster home had me locked in a room, and I remember feeling like blank, really. Like, I'm locked in this room. Like, I'm laughing, but you know, it's some serious shit. Like, but I remember feeling like, wow, I'm locked in this room. I can't get out. But I didn't understand why, and that's the whole part. You know, the comprehension. I didn't understand it. You know, and I look back and I talk about it like, oh, fool was getting thrown under the door, slid under the door like a prison cell type shit. And the kids would come in the room, kind of jump me, and run out and laugh. But I would lay there after, you know, just be confused. I think something about me in general is that it takes me a minute to register what's going on. And so I didn't cry. I didn't get mad. I remember it though. And, anyway, my mom figured out that something was not right with that group, and they sent me to a different home. And it's just a complete different lifestyle that your life is in the hands of. You go from your mother telling you that life is yours, this is how it is for you, this is your room, this is your space, and you go to another home with a whole different spirit and entity and energy and thought process of people, and they're telling you life is this way. Then you move that home, and you got another entity of people telling you, no, life is this way, this is your room, and you share this with this, and nothing is yours. And these are all good lessons, but it does become cloudy in a sense of direction. You know, you don't know who your parents is. You end up going to school thinking like, I can't tell you guys what I did last summer because I didn't even know where I was going to be last summer, you know. But there became a disconnect. Real strong disconnect. Typically and understandably, I'll get into a lot of fights. You know, especially being so far separate from any family member. You know, I have to really rely on friendships and adopted friendships and the willpower of another's intention. You know what I mean? I'm at the mercy of it. You know, and I'm at an age where victim is easy, I guess, to want to scream out, but I've never screamed out I'm a victim. You know, I've always felt like, for some reason, deep down, I always felt like I was good. And, but just because you feel like that doesn't mean you are, you know? And, I remember lining up in the fights, and I appreciate all the lessons, man. All of it collectively. It's up to the individual to make the most of them all. But man, is it damaging in the process until you figure it out. Until you figure it out what's going on with you, you're at the mercy of the reactions, the outcomes. Man, it's not right to mess with a young mind's development. You know, you have people around here walking around distant and feeling separate because they don't understand what everyone else seems to be a part of. And then that whole be a part of aspect becomes a, what is this? You know, like, you start looking for outlets, call it coping. You know, you go to school. I was a class clown all through elementary and middle school. I was just goofing off, you know, just because it was a different genre of emotion for me. It was not stressful. It wasn't depressing. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't curiosity. You know, it was just, let me just goof off. I don't know, let me mess around. Let me just get my mind off of anything else. It's damaging, man. And even the idea of friendships, you know, getting close to someone, that yearn of like, hey man, he's cool, I wonder if we could be buddies and make everybody laugh together. That it dies down when you realize that, well, what if he is the same type of energy that would lock me in a room type shit. I'm not saying I'm scared of anybody. I'm just more emotionally curious about everybody. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not afraid of a fight. Like, I'll get into a fight. I feel like I can match the intensity of any demon. It's just very emotional to know that I have to match it. You know, it's emotional to know that I have to react to the intention that wasn't originally my intent. And it's understandably depressing, man. I swear it is, man. Like, and you know, I didn't understand myself. I was curious as to why don't I want to buy Jordans? How come I don't care? This cool guy accepts me in his clique over there yesterday. Why don't I care about that? You know what I mean? Why do I not care that 1,300, any number of people follow me on social media? I don't care about it. Why though? These are questions I ask myself, man. I understand it now. And it brings another sadness about knowing that a lot of people feel like what's happening now is really right now, because it is right now, but the mind is a development. It's in development. And we really got to give ourselves a chance to grow. Because an unfully developed mind, it's very easy for it to crack. Very easy for it to submit to outside of the mind. Anyway, when I got to high school, you gotta understand that I'm experiencing a lot of things that I don't know if it's normal to experience. You know, I know a lot of people experience these things, but when I got to high school, you know, the class clown trick I had was fading away. That little finesse of a cope I had to be joking and nothing matters, that it got tired, man. It got played out to me. It got boring. I need something else. And I don't know, and I was exposed to love from my aunt and my uncle, man. My auntie is what did it for me. She looked at me and all I saw was love, man. She said, I always wanted what was best for you. I always felt like I wanted to make sure you came good in life. I didn't want you to go through any of the things that you've ever gone through. And at the time, I wasn't really listening. I was like, yeah, right. But, you know, as she's talking, tears are welling up in her eyes. And I feel them, man. I'm looking at her. I'm like, I'm not your son. Like, why should you care if I'm not your son? Where are those tears coming from? And they touched me, and I wanted to prove those tears a point. I wanted to show those tears something. I don't know, it worked. Whatever my aunt did, it worked. Like, I went to school with everybody's not a demon, but I was fixated. I was determined. Everybody is in my way. I'm about to get a GPA, good grade. I'm about to make my aunt proud. I'm about to show everybody that it's not hard to get. And that's a mind frame I had, show someone. But basically at the end of my freshman year, I had a 3.4, or 3 point something. But my aunt, she cried in the kitchen in happy tears. Like, she said, I knew you could do it. I knew you could. Like, I knew this is something that you could do. And I seen how happy she was just for me getting that. And it's so small to so many people I know. But I haven't experienced someone say, oh my God, like, I knew you could do that. And I'm just like, damn, like, that feels hella good, man. So throughout my high school years, I ended up eventually taking on that trait of just feeling good about doing good. And thank my aunt for that, man. And just making the most of your examples in life. Damn. Then, once I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted, man. I didn't understand what I needed. I didn't know if I wanted to go to the military. I didn't know if I wanted to go to college. I didn't know if I wanted to be an actor. I always say that even now, but then it was a real, like, I'm just talking. I'm just walking the walk, talking the talk, thinking thoughts that are provoked to me, you know what I mean? Or that are put upon me. Like, you know, these are things that you should be thinking about, Mike. Think about this, think about that. And it's like, okay, let me think about this and that. And I'm not even understanding what this and that is. But I don't know what to think about, so I better think about something. But that's what I mean by you gotta give your chance yourself a chance to develop, so that you can know and have a conviction about your life, choices, style, decisions. You have to grow. It's important. But after high school, I made a. I decided to get married because I guess I felt I knew what love was. Maybe I know. No, I'll rephrase that. I felt I had love, and that was what was important to me because of my little small nick of a need to know what it feels like to have a solid foundation. I just jumped the gun and was like, I want that. I got it. I'm getting it. But not everybody goes through what everyone goes through, so not everyone approaches life with the same approach. And that's nobody's fault but my own. That's nobody's fault but my own. And I appreciate every mistake or flaw or thing that wasn't supposed to happen that happened. I appreciate it all because right now I'm here informing myself that this motherfucker in front of you is such a beautiful person, man. Like, but anyway, after I was married, I moved out of my aunt's house very fast. Took on a tremendous amount of responsibility very fast. I went from going to school, waking up and going to school and going home, doing homework, doing chores, to I'm waking up at 3 in the morning, going home 10 to 11 p.m. at night, Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sundays, every day for 2 years. You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing, and I'm paying bills that, in essence, none of these bills are on my name. None of these things belong to me. I didn't feel like the idea of, I'm about to build myself was necessary. I thought the idea of I'm about to build everyone around me the way I want it to be. Trying to control a flow when you're supposed to just let the flow flow. Probably ride with the flow, And all I think about with that instance is time flew for me. And I was very mentally disciplined to an idea. I wasn't really successful in the way I envisioned, but I was fighting my mind and body daily to push through, to make sure all of everything that I want to have happen is going to happen. Remember I was in a dark few times where I lived, no PG&E for a couple months. My birthday passed. Not recently, but this was back then, and I was sick to my stomach. And I believe it's because God has a way of stirring your insides up when things aren't really all too right. I don't want to say the devil, because the devil can give a fuck about you. He don't care nothing, But God has a way of saying, your conviction and passion is very real, but you kind of point it in the wrong direction. So I ended up quitting whatever job I thought was needed in my precious life. I quit that, got a better paying job. And eventually I started asking around, walking around. I was like, I'm tired of paying up people's bills. I need my own place. Got my own apartment, when I was 22. And right by over there by Lake Mary, and I felt very proud. I remember telling everybody who I was with to not be excited about this because it's baby steps, you know. I've been through so much to where nothing was permanent for me, literally. And I felt that even though I was able to get what I had, that there was more to it. You know, I was like, this is baby steps after this. Next step is a house. Next step is a yacht, investments. Next step is this and that. But the empire crumbles with the wrong soldiers, man. And, but I call it a beautiful storm, man. You're not meant to make it with everybody. Everybody's not meant to share your blessings, you know. I call it a beautiful storm. Long story short, I ended up being evicted from that place. Tired myself out, burned myself out, worn myself out. Made so much money and didn't have none of it for myself. I'm not even a money bragging type of guy, because I never care about tangible things, which is why I didn't have nothing for myself. But when I talk about I've never touched that kind of money before, I've never touched that kind of money before. And I gave it all up, man. It's time for something else, man. I got fed up. I grew. And I woke up. It was like a switch. It was like, Mike, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and I just woke up and was like, I'm done. I'm worn out and drained. It's reset time. Moved back in with my aunt. And it wasn't the same. Been gone for so long from her house. It felt like home, but not the same home. You know, I'm used to being the man of the house. I was used to my own routines, my own patterns, my own way of thinking, my own way of life. And it's very understanding. She's nowhere near anyone that's always in your face, but it's sad for me because I feel like she just wants me to settle down, be okay, go to school, and just do things in a way where it's not so hard. But I just didn't feel like I could stay there. It's a different space for me, you know. I moved out and met an old soulmate, I would say. Like, divine energies is real, man. But I'm with my better half right now. I live with her today, even. But I decided to just go out and get it on my own, maybe, you know. And I was kind of idle more than anything. Monum. I didn't have a purpose. I was like robotic. I was just walking around. And I didn't really like how it felt. I didn't have a motivation. I didn't want anything. Literally, I didn't want a girl. I didn't want friends. I just didn't want. The term want was gone. I didn't want anymore. I didn't say I didn't want to live. That's all I was doing though. You know, just living. And when I met her, man, I never seen another spirit believe with conviction that life should be a certain way. And with all the doubts I have had in my head, I freed myself from judgment, and I told myself to go with the flow. She wanted her own, I wanted my own, and all of 2017 we was in the shelter, you know, sleeping at parks, going to San Francisco, sleeping under slides. Man, that sounds so bad, but it was so like warm. I just felt loved. I felt her smiles every time she smiled. You know what I'm saying? We was homeless together. Fast forward, we got an apartment together. Been in this apartment for 2 years now. And I'm so thankful to sit here and be reflective right now. So now, with all that being said, there's nothing left to do but pursue. And just to constantly remind myself to pursue, pursue, pursue. Christopher Michael Nadhan, from North Oakland, California. I was born in Los Angeles, Glendale, California. I'm 25 years old. I feel like I'm 80 years old. I wish to be an actor. I wish to be a rapper. I wish to produce. And I wish to make music. This is my story.